Hello and welcome to Kriti. Let's take a look at the product master data within the ERP system. So the way to get to this screen is just go to the sales tab from the hamburger menu and click on products. Now you see here different types of products that's already listed, so you can group them by different product types. Now there are various different product types that are available. One is the consumables, which are regularly used for consumption purposes, and one is the storable product, and other one is the services. Now within the services, you have different options as well, which is basically the time and material type billing service, and also the fixed cost service as well. So that could be created. So let's look at the just the simplest product, which is basically the storable product here. And in this one, there's different categories that you can set up in terms of how the product will be configured, whether it's a single HAWA or even the BOM, which is a bill of material. Now let's look at this particular example here on the screen. This is, as you can see, there's a number of different master data elements that are created over here, and then you will see any interactions or any kind of transactional data that you have with the customers will be maintained and reflected over here. So as soon as you create an order, if there's any stock inventory movement, all of that information will be stored here in this one. So we'll take a look at that one in deep dive. Let's go into the product master data itself. So the first thing that you see here is a product type. That's really about the type of product that is created, followed by the invoicing policy. Now we have two methods of invoicing policy. This drives how the invoice bill gets created by the customer itself. So one is the delivered quantity or the order quantity. So depending upon what the invoicing policy is, the billing cycle that runs. So it's an important field that you need to maintain here, and followed by the basic unit of measure. So that's a pretty straightforward one. The sales price is what actually customer sees on the website or on the backend system when you're creating the sales order. Followed by the taxes. That's a pretty straightforward one. Any taxes that we charge the customers will be applied there. The one below is basically the cost. Now this is the cost to the company for the manufacturing of that particular product. Or even if you're procuring it from the external vendor, you could maintain the cost, that the landed cost for that one. So that's important to calculate the margin. So when you're creating the sales order, there's a formula by which the margins are calculated, and in order to do that one, you need a cost to be maintained, and also for any accounting purposes that you would require. And other than that, the product categories are pretty much what you see it on the website. So that's about how then which category that particular product will get displayed, and followed by this internal reference numbers, barcode, HSN codes. All of that is required for international standard product identification purposes. Okay, so that's about that one. Any variations that you want to create, you can create that one over here. The sales information, this is basically the upselling, any accessories, any optional products that you want to do it, you can do that one. And how the e-commerce is set up and how it should work, etc., is also over here, right? And in terms of the purchasing itself, so if you're procuring this particular product from the vendor, you can maintain the specific vendors and the specific pricings against the vendors and their lead time, etc. So as you can see, there's two vendors that we can configure for this one, and they've got a different pricing as well. But then they also have a standard lead time. Now this lead time is important because that's where it will automatically calculate the expected delivery date. When you're creating a sales order or even a purchase order, it will automatically show what is the expected delivery date. So this particular account will require a minimum of 10 days, so the expected delivery date will be current day plus 10 days. That's how it works. All right. Followed by sort of any inventory movement operations. That's mainly for the warehouse operations, as to logistics, how it's handled, all this logistic information and the tracking information, any packaging that's required for this particular product, you can maintain that. The accounting, it's important part because it's account receivables and payables. That's where all the company, the accounting and auditing will be required. So we need to make sure that's really posting all the payments into the right accounts. Okay. So that's about the master data, and then you can also see here there's a transactional data that's linked. This is basically giving you the 360 degree view of a product. You can just go here and then see what are the inventories that are at hand. You can check that one over here, and then you can also see how many has been forecasted, what are the inventory movement that's happening, inbound, outbound, all of that information. You can check that one, and you can go back to any sort of units that are sold, all of that information across each of the month, historical sales data that you can see that one, any reordering rules that you have, any purchases, etc. All of that information is available. Now, if this particular product is associated with any bill of materials, you will see that over here. So in this example, you don't have that one, so that's slightly exceptional. Okay, so let's take a look at another particular product, which is a service product that we talked about, and we'll see how much of the difference that we have for that one. Right, so as you can see here, there's a fundamental difference. The product type itself is a service type, and the invoicing policy is based on the timesheets. Now, this is important because what happens is at the back of the order creation, as you can see, there's a project and task list that gets created, and the employees that are working on that particular project has to fill the timesheet for it to be available for billing. So that's exactly the invoicing policy is talking about here. Apart from that, since it's not a stockable product, so you don't see many tabs on the top of that, but otherwise all the other things are pretty much the same. You need to have the cost associated with that to be able to calculate the margins, etc., etc. All right. So this is about the timesheet based product, and we'll look at one more product where you have the milestone based billing. So as you can see here, what happens is it doesn't really create the any order, and you could just simply do nothing, and then you can also have the invoices based on the milestone, or you can also have invoicing based on the fixed price itself or the prepaid. So all of that methods are available. So this is a pretty handy one when you're creating the service itself. So all right, and then apart from that one, if you want to just set up a bill of materials, you can do that one. You can just go into the product and then just check the bill of materials as well. In addition to that one, you can also see the price list. As I said earlier on, we have the price list mechanism. You can check the customer specific pricing. You can set up over here. Any special pricing if you want to set up for the Christmas, for example, you can do that one over here. All right. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.